Live from New York, it's your shows. I screwed it up already. We gotta do it again.
It's your show's favorite show.
Live from New York, it's your favorite show's favorite show. It's First Things First. Today, we start with Dame's ongoing dilemma of should I stay or should I go? Also was a song. Dame, in Paris, coincidentally, was on Instagram Live when Will Smith's Welcome to Miami was playing, which was followed by Jimmy posting a clip of Dame's music, which Tatiana said was pretty good.
Dame can flow.
I mean, we'll leave it at that.
Really?
Come on.
That's it? He's pretty good.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. In any event, Chris Haynes, Portland TrailBlazers star Damian Lillard and his agent Aaron Goodwin are meeting with the team today to discuss the franchise's direction, league sources tell. NBA on TNT and Bleacher Report. Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
Finally? We got a meeting.
Yeah.
Make it in a coffee shop.
Why are you so
breakup.
excited? You're not a Heat guy.
No, I like to be right. And the Miami Heat are going to get Damian Lillard. And this trade
for
that the internet,
thing?
led by Chris Broussard,
the
Pied Piper of mocking me, it mocked me for all weekend, we can show it, is going to be essentially what it is. Now, last week when I first proposed this, it didn't say Jaime Jaquez Jr. because it was the number 18 pick. And then Friday when I did it, it did, and Brew laughed and laughed and laughed, and now this trade's all the rage, with people saying Nikola Jovic is the key to the trade, but that's neither here nor there. This is going to happen because Damian Lillard has 4 years, $213 million left on his deal, which is essentially like having a no trade. No team, Brew, is going to trade for him if he's unhappy. No team is going to trade for him that he doesn't want to go to, so he is going to get to go where he wants, which is Miami. Miami, a team that was confident enough they could get him, they stayed essentially entirely out of the Bradley Beal sweepstakes because they want Damian Lillard. And if you remember Title Pie from a few weeks ago, the way too early, what did I tell you Pat Riley was going to be doing from his porch in Malibu? Looking for whales, and you laughed at me because that's what Pat Riley does. So, yeah, he is, and this idea that Damian Lillard is, if we keep Jeremy Grant and sign Draymond Green, that'll keep me there. First of all, they can't. Second of all, it shouldn't, because that's not going to move the needle. He's going to be on the Miami Heat, and we're going to have another top-of-the-line contender.
Well, look, if they get Dame, then yes, they are a contender. I would not, well, they're still a contender already. I wouldn't say they're the favorites to win it all because I still have Denver as the best team in the league. Mm-hmm. But if they got Damian Lillard for your little trade,
well, that's
all
a
right,
trade.
Keep Bam, keep Jimmy Butler, I think they'd be the favorite in the East.
Wow.
Certainly as it stands now. Now, Milwaukee and Boston are there, but they clearly give Boston problems, not just from this year, but in the past when they've either lost to them tough or beat them. Right? And they obviously have something from Milwaukee as well. So they have to be considered, I'd say, to enter the season as a top team in the East unless one of those two teams does another deal. However, I'm not going to concede yet. It's been a long time since you've been right.
Oh, that's
so
not
I'm not
true.
going to concede that this deal is going down. Now, Jovic, I don't know. I got to be honest. I feel like this dude really might be nice potentially.
You've watched a lot of his games?
No, maybe the name, I don't know. But look, a lot of international guys who get drafted that nobody knows about, right? They get drafted in the second round or late in the first.
Wait,
whatever.
Just because his name
So
sounds
now,
like...
hold on a second.
I'm just
so
saying,
now this trade that a week ago you said was not enough, now you're saying they might be giving up too much because Jovic is in it?
Because, no, all I'm saying, I have no idea if this guy can play.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's possible.
Yeah.
He actually has really good potential. However, if I'm Portland, I tell you what, let me put it this way. If I'm Boston, I don't want Dame in Miami. That's the last thing I want. Even if I can't get him, I don't want you getting him, and I'd love to have him. So I would offer Jaylen Brown. But do I really want to pay Jaylen Brown the super max when he's my second best player? Not my first best, second best.
Wouldn't you be doing that with Dame? Dame's on a supermax, and don't you think Tatum's better than him? And he's older.
Well, Dame is close. They're both close. And I get it, he's older, but here's the deal.
But he doesn't want to be in Boston.
he can win a championship there. I think he'll be fine in Boston. They've been a contender for what, 6-7 years now. Haven't won it. They need to win a championship, and I think Dame makes them better. They got defenders around him. If I'm Portland, I'd rather have Jaylen Brown than
I agree with that, but I don't think they are going. Again, there's how business brew you that, and I know this.
I mean, unless he just says he's locked up for 4 years.
I understand, but this is where that's what I was going to say. Is there's like how business should be done according to you and others, and how business is done. And that sounded worse than what I meant.
Yeah,
my point,
it sounded bad.
That's not what my point is you are right. He is under contract. They can send him anywhere. I do not have an example that I can think of a star who has been with the team for a very long time that makes it clear, I don't want to go somewhere, and then the team says, too bad, you're going there.
But he said, just said Miami and Brooklyn are his top
But Chris
choices.
Haynes, who seems to
he's close to Dame.
Be very close to him, was asked about Boston and just started laughing and said Dame does not want to be in Boston.
Doesn't want to go to Boston.
And so I would imagine he'll make that clear to the Blazers.
Well,
I agree with you. That would be a better trade.
If Boston offers him,
Jaylen Brown,
then you need to have a conversation with Dame and the Celtics and
here's the conversation. I don't want to go there. So tear up your Boston offer and send me to Miami or Brooklyn like I asked for.
Well, why would he want to go to Brooklyn?
I agree with
get
you.
it,
He likes
but
Mikal Bridges,
they're not going
he
to be
said.
any better than Portland is in the West.
That's true.
I agree
We
with
should
that.
go to Miami. Here's
If they like the Miami deal. If not,
the
we
Miami
gotta
ranks
compromise.
high on culture, low on points. Now they all of a sudden the ball started to go through the basket during the playoffs, but overall during the regular season they could not score. And then in the finals they lost games by scoring 89, 95, 94, and 90.
Hold on, what was that sentence? When did they lose those games? In what round?
In the finals.
In the finals.
They were
okay.
thoroughly outmatched in the finals.
yes, they were.
got their silver medals, which you
Yes.
value more than
No.
anyone else in NBA
But if you
media.
are no, that is not the case.
You got to score more than 95
right,
points
and you know what
in 4
helps?
games.
Adding Damian Lillard. What are you
That's what I'm
talking
saying.
about?
That's the
what
point
are
of the
they
graphic.
saying? If they don't get you seem to be saying even with Dame, are you saying they're
No,
not?
I'm saying they've got vibes and no scoring. And Dame
Oh,
gives
I'm
you
sorry.
If they get Dame, are they the Eastern Conference favorite?
No.
Really?
No, it's Giannis.
You just wrote that off like
It's
there's no
Giannis.
chance.
Well,
the Giannis they just beat in 5 games without Damian Lillard? That Giannis?
Yeah, healthy Giannis. Giannis that doesn't miss a game. You
I'm
guys say that.
not writing Milwaukee off if they get Dame,
So
but
they're, all of a
don't
sudden
they
they're
get
going to
a
win.
little?
They're going to win without an all-time great player. Because I had to sit
Miami?
here. Yes, you guys go through
Dame
your
is
history.
an all-time great player.
No.
Top 75. He's not top 25.
No, but
okay,
it happens.
It's going back to when?
Go ahead.
Chauncey Billups.
The Chauncey Billups, the 08 Celtics are on the fringe. The Raptors with Kawhi are on the fringe. But typically, but all right, so 2 things. First of all, I misunderstood what you were saying, so I apologize for yelling at you.
Not accepted.
I thought you were saying Miami's with or without Dame not that close. You were saying this is exactly what they need.
Yes, they're close,
Okay.
but I do think I reserve it that somehow they got super hot during the playoffs.
I understand,
they were just
but
on a heater.
They
over the
were,
last
but-
4 years, they lead the NBA in playoff victories. They're tied for the lead in the NBA in finals appearances. They're tied for the lead in the NBA in conference finals appearances. I think they're very good. And so that's since Jimmy Butler's been there. If they were to get him, Brew, I did a big 3 rankings, if I could show it to you guys, see what you guys think.
There's only a couple.
Well,
left in the league.
teams that didn't make the rankings. Well, Cleveland, if they had a big 3.
They're 5.
I have them at 5. Other people value Bradley Beal more than I do. I have Booker, Durant, and Beal at 5. At number 4, LeBron, AD, and Austin Reeves. They are number 4.
Does that qualify as a big 3? I don't think it qualifies as a big 3.
Well, he's about to get
a
$100 million
trio.
bucks.
Can we just call it a trio?
Oh, well, that's what it says. Top 5 trios. That's
Okay,
fine. That's
you
what I
said
mean.
big 3,
Okay,
though.
yeah, no, you're right. Not
Austin
like a
Reeves
historic-
is not a part of
a
anyone's
big 3. I agree, but this is the best trios in the NBA.
I know he thinks he's
That's
him,
fine.
but he's not a part of a big 3.
He's about to get a lot of money. Number 3 on the list, Milwaukee, assuming Middleton's back.
That's a big 3, though.
Giannis, that
That's
is a
big 3
trio.
adjacent.
Giannis, Drew, Middleton.
Adjacent.
Number 2 on the
Remember,
list,
Drew's talking
I would
retirement.
have these Miami Heat. Jimmy, Dame, and Bam. And number 1 is the one that just won the title. Joker, Murray, and Aaron Gordon. I think Miami would instantly be in the argument for the best whatever you want to call it, top trio in the league, and clearly, I think, be the best in the Eastern Conference. Because in the East, other than Milwaukee, it's like Boston, it's Tatum, Brown, Porzingis. Cleveland is Garland, Mitchell, and Mobley. No. So that's, to me,
here's what,
your 5
it's
best
not
trios.
bad, but what I would say, if you're just strictly looking at trios,
Yeah.
Phoenix's trio, I think, is better than Miami's trio.
Right.
Not as a unit,
Really?
Not as a fit. I'm just talking. If you were talking about the 3 best,
like if it was
individual
sure,
players.
but I'm talking about how it fits on the basketball.
Yeah, I mean, because obviously we don't even know what their depth is.
What's up?
But
The Warriors? Not unless you have a time machine. No. The Warriors.
Steph. I mean, they
Steph-
just won it 2 years ago.
Yeah, no. But Brew, do you think would you have replaced any of those with the Warriors with Draymond and Clay at this stage?
Championship pedigree?
No, Brew's a realist. Brew's doing cogent analysis.
No,
here.
I mean, look, I'm just saying. What I like about Miami's trio is it does fit.
It fits
Right,
perfect.
like you got the Bam plays from the foul line down.
Yep.
He's inside. Jimmy Butler's a mid-range slasher, and Dame obviously is a great shooter.
And Jimmy-
and then 2 of them defend.
Correct. Jimmy covers up
Yep.
Dame's weaknesses defensively. I think.
But I think as just straight up threesome,
Sure.
Phoenix is
I
more
understand
talented.
more talent, but as far as
a
winning
team,
basketball
okay.
and fit, and Milwaukee's threesome is not
Right.
more talented than others, but they fit perfectly for the reasons we've discussed.
I think you agree with me. They would be favored in the East if they get Dame. Okay.
I think they might be. They maybe should be favored in the East either way, depending on what happens in free agency. If Milwaukee
If
loses
they
Chris
don't get
Middleton,
Dame, they're
if they
favored
don't,
in the East?
if they don't get Dame, but Milwaukee loses Chris Middleton, all go with the Heat.
Wow.
Over Boston?
Yeah, I don't believe in the Celtics as that duo. I don't.
That's why they should go after Dame themselves.
Sure. Okay. Agreed. But I don't think he's
Head over to the Bay, check in on a trio that's not even top 5 in the league. Warriors expected to sign Draymond to a 3-year deal. Seems pretty obvious to me, at least. Here's their numbers. 491 wins, 9th most all-time, 4 titles. But here's their ages. Steph's 35, Clay's 33, Draymond's 33. Nick, is this the right move?
I think they have to do it. And there was a lot of scuttlebutt the day after the draft that, if I were to do a Brian Windhorst impression, what's going on with the Kings?
Not very.
I'm not
You're
good.
hard
No,
into it or don't do it.
you know what? You're right.
That was very
And Wendy, you
half-hearted.
deserve better. I apologize. I didn't even get the quote right. But the Kings opened up cap space, traded away the 25th pick, got off Rashawn Holmes, and there was speculation, could they be a destination for Draymond Green? I don't buy that at all. I do buy they are trying to drive the price up on the Golden State Warriors. It is in the Kings' interest that the Warriors have less flexibility and less, and have to cut costs elsewhere. They are competing with the Warriors literally on the court, figuratively in the area over the next few years. And you have the best player on the Kings, De'Aaron Fox, clutch client, Draymond, clutch client. I don't think a Sabonis-Draymond front court makes a lot of sense basketball-wise, offensively. Defensively, fine, but they both like to handle the ball in similar areas.
Sabonis is their Draymond.
They're limited. They're limited shooters. Sabonis is better in the regular season than the playoffs. Set that aside. So I think he's going back, and I think the Sacramento. I don't think Draymond Green wants to go to play in Sacramento. I think though, he is trying to use this as a way to get a $100 million contract, which he said he thinks he deserves, or he Instagrammed or something like that. I think they're bringing him back, bro. I'd be shocked if they don't.
Yeah, I feel they're bringing him back. There's no question. Because as long as Steph is in his prime, they have to go for it. Go for as many championships as they can get with Steph. Look, they tried this whole, let's go young and let's still try to win. It's not going to work. All right. And there's going to be a drop off. When this era ends, there will be a drop off. Showtime Lakers, Bird Celtics, Jordan Bulls, Duncan Spurs. It's inevitable.
Yeah.
You're going to have
Isaiah's
maybe a
Pistons,
decade.
Yeah.
Maybe a decade of tough sledding. So go ahead and get all the championships you can get. And that offense and defense isn't the same without Draymond. It's as simple as that. So 3 years, $100 million, something like that. If he'll settle for that, that's great. And I think he'll be, he'd be happy with that. So yeah, got to bring him back.
Are we at the tough sledding part right now, though? I think that's the question.
Because they're still looking. Look, they better make some more moves. This can't be it. If your big move was Chris Paul and drafting Trace Jackson Davis, I think that's the kid's name out of Indiana, then you're not winning the West unless there's a whole lot of injuries. I mean, you're not.
No,
they would be essentially the same team they were last year.
Right.
And so, without Jordan Poole, there'd be, maybe I'll think about it. But right now, the bottom line is they need size.
Yeah.
Like, they got to get legitimate size, a 7-footer who's, if he's just mediocre, but they need size. When they were winning championships, they had Andrew Bogut.
Well, they do have Looney.
But he's 6'9". He's great, but they need a backup for him.
Maybe James Wiseman.
Yeah, well,
like that.
Well, he wasn't a winner, I guess. That's how
whatever it was. I mean, they gave up on him whether they should or they shouldn't have. That also had some financial reasons for that.
Well, I thought
he was very
they're going to break the bank now.
And so, but here's the deal. Draymond opted out of $27 million. We'll see what his the salary ends up being. That's what they're haggling over now. It probably ends up around 30. Chris Paul and Jordan Poole make the same amount essentially, except Chris Paul only has 1 year. Jordan Poole had 4 years left. But even though, and I know we'll get to it later, there is a history between Draymond and Chris Paul, I felt like trading your 23-year-old for a 38-year-old signaled, or 24-year-old for a 38-year-old signaled Draymond's coming back. Because you are not trading for Chris Paul in order to not try to do everything you can to win right now. And one thing Steph and Steve Kerr seem in absolute lockstep on is we're not a championship contender without that guy. Right. And whatever their size limitations are, those become totally crippling if you don't have him defensively. They might be too much anyway, but they certainly are if he's not there. So I think Draymond has a lot of leverage with the Warriors to get a very favorable contract given the trajectory of his play.
I think he'll be fair, if you will. Like, I don't know that he's just going to go to the highest bidder. What if Detroit, because he's from Michigan, offers him money? I don't think he's going there. I don't think he wants to go to Sacramento either. I think he wants to stay with the Warriors.
But don't you think those guys, those whatever offers he gets, Rich will then go to the Warriors and say, you don't have to match it, but we're not giving you a 20% discount.
In the neighborhood.
Right. We will give you a 10% discount maybe, but so that could be costly for him.
Great representation, too.
Well, that's what I hear.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.